Lifepro. I am super excited with you all today. We are launching a new product, and we have been in the wellness, recovery, anti-aging mode of new products for the last several weeks. And it's been a while since we have launched a product as related to fitness. So today, I'm really excited to share the Rove Elliptical machine. It has a lot of different features that our original Flex Stride Pro does not have, which makes it very special. So I'm going to go through all that, but just remember, we are always giving away different products as a part of our launching experience with everybody that's participating. So I want to know where you are tuning in from, whether you're on the East Coast or the West Coast. Here in Indiana, it is 12 o'clock p.m., but I know on the West Coast, some of you are just starting to wake up and get your coffee. And so wanted to, just entertain with some of you. We've got the holidays coming up, and I'm personally going to be out of town, hopefully next week with family vacationing and enjoying time alone, unplugged from all distractions and being able to get some time in with my family and my parents. So with the Rove, what I want you to think about as we are getting into the holiday season is we typically tend to overeat and we tend to do a lot of shopping, but we don't do as much working out because we're dealing with the daylight savings time and we're dealing with the change in weather patterns and so many different things happening across the country in all different aspects of life. So I would like to know from you what you're going to be doing in order to combat that seasonal depression that can set in because the amount of sunlight that we get is a little different. And one of those things that we can do to minimize depression and enhance our happy hormones in the form of getting a dose of exercise, referring to the happy hormones, which is our dopamine, which is what is referred to as our addiction hormone, our oxytocin, which is our love me hormone, our serotonin, which is a large hormone prepared in the gut that has a lot to do with how we digest and how we respond with recovery, but it also affects our happiness in our mindset. And then our natural painkillers, which are referred to as endorphins. So I want to know, what are you going to do in order to achieve a dose of those hormones as we are getting into the winter season, late fall season, and starting to get into holiday. Some of you might think holiday is chaotic. So when it comes to Thanksgiving and preparing all the food and getting together, holidays with Christmas, with shopping, and we've got Black Friday coming up next Friday. It is all happening so fast, right? And so we're going to, here at Lifepro, we're going to start really promoting a lot of the fitness side of things so that you can continue to do some form of cardiovascular or mobility type exercise at home in order to keep from getting the bulge of the belly or not getting enough movement in, and we're eating all the sugar and the sweets and the treats and the cookies and holiday baking. And of course, you might not expect it, but somebody just might happen to drop it off on your front porch or bring it to a company pitch-in, or a holiday party, or maybe some of you do a cookie exchange, or maybe you might go to church and they might have some kind of holiday program in which there's all those wonderful sweet treats. Nonetheless, we need something in order to battle the bulge through the holidays. So if you would like to win the Rove Elliptical machine, I need you to give Lifepro a lot of love with a little hashtag Rove, R-O-V-E, or give us lots of smiles, lots of hearts, lots of likes, and let us know exactly what you're going to be doing through the holidays in order to work on being the best version of yourself while you indulge in some of those wonderful traditions with your family and your friends and your neighbors. So that being said, let me sneak up here and see, because I love to see the view from up close because I can't see from afar. We've got Oregon, we've got Bonita Springs, and we've got We've got the Show Me State, love it. I love you, Pat. And we've got Alberto on here. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Yeah, so I want to know what you're going to be doing in order to combat the battle of bulge. Me personally, I get on my platform every single day when I can catch a break. And then, of course, I'm getting into, if you've seen me wearing the blood flow resistance bands, anything we can in order to hack into our system in order to get those hormones flowing. The awesome part is that with the Rove Elliptical machine, you can not only use this from a sitting position, but you can also use it from a standing position, which makes it special and makes it much different than the Flex Stride Pro and the Flex Stride Original that we've had. So what I wanted to be able to show you, we've listened to you in the past, and so with the Rove, we have this non-slip mat. So if you remember before, if you would have this on a surface and it would slide around, instead of me telling you to go to the store and buy yourself a non-slip mat, now it comes with a mat inclusive. And it's up to you whether you decide to use that or not, but you can use it underneath. On this one, on the Rove, I'm gonna bring this up and close. It is heavy, it weighs 35 pounds. It's got a max weight capacity of 220 pounds, but there we go. Make sure that you can see it up and close. But we have these little areas here where we can anchor resistance bands in order to be able to do resistance band exercises while you're in a seated position. So that's something new. But again, the frame is very heavy, very, very heavy. And so if you are wanting to use the resistance bands, the classic resistance bands that come with all of our devices, it's going to slide through this little spot here on the front. We are going to slide the handle through it. And then from a seated position, you can actually do some arm curls while you're pedaling away. Now, the Rove elliptical machine has these wheels, okay? They remind you like rollerblading wheels, but they have these wheels that make this move very, very smooth going forward, or you can go backwards, okay? The other thing that makes this unit much more unique than our other unit is you have the ability to change the height of the pedals so that when you're standing, you can get a different variation on your hips, on your knees, and on your feet. So I'm going to show you how to do all that here in just a second. We also have these little pads that go underneath of your stool so that if you're wanting to keep your stool from rolling around, then you can actually use these to keep your stool in place. And then we have a tether strap that keeps the unit close to you or keeps you from moving away from the unit, okay? So it's pretty cool how it all works together. But in order to show you a lot of these great features, we've got 8 different pedal resistance levels. This wheel right here on the front is what gives the ability to change that up. So I'm going to bring you all a little bit closer to the machine, maybe. There we go. Bring you a little bit closer so that you can really see and you can dial in on what this actually looks like. Okay. So when we're using it, I'm going to cut off my head here for a second. Again, it is super smooth in how it works, but we have our resistance knob right here, and we've got 8 different resistance levels. And so as you're working with it, it's not too hard to turn whatsoever. 2 all the way up to 8 there. And then here we have this computer, okay? On the computer, see if I can tilt that up for, there we go. On the computer, we have several different modes. So when I push this button right here, it'll go through the different modes on the screen here, and it'll give you the ability to look at different measures in order to know how hard you're working. So the modes is keeping track of count of total strides, meaning over the longevity of a workout. It's keeping track of the amount of time that you're working. It's giving you a general idea of caloric expenditure, but remember, the best way to keep track of caloric expenditure is to use a wearable strap and keep it on an app. So get the app and the strap, okay? And then you're also going to be able to keep track of how many repetitions per minute, which can also kind of be referred to as a performance and speed. And then you have an opportunity to scan through all of those so that you're not having to just sit and watch the same thing. So several different workout metrics. It has an auto off feature of 4 minutes. So if you're not using it, as you can see, it's lit up right now. If you're not using it, it will automatically kick off after 4 minutes. Okay. Now, again, you can use this one sitting or standing, which makes that so much more special than all the other types of elliptical machines that we've released in the past. Today, it is $179.99. It is normally $249.99, but today, I always tell you guys when we launch this product, we always, tend to have it for a couple weeks, but with the holidays and all the products are selling out quickly, we can't guarantee you what the price is going to be from one day to the next. But for today, we are going to guarantee it for $179.99. Now, if you are sitting in your chair and you want to use these attached straps, you can slide this strap on. You don't want to wear this when you're standing on it, but if you're sitting at your desk, you can slide the strap on. You're just going to flip up that wheel, slide the strap on, and then you can strap this over the top of your shoe wherever it feels comfortable for you. So on this unit, we do not have an actual affixed side where the pedals come up. There's not a slot there to be able to attach the strap. The strap is going to be adjustable forward to backward based on how your shoe sits into it. And I'll show you that here in just a second. And then if you decide you don't like the strap, just quickly lift the wheel and remove it. Super quick and easy. What else is really cool is we have a cell phone holder. I know, because you all want to be able to use your cell phone while you're working out, right? But what's really cool is if you decide to use an app with the device, you can actually position the cell phone holder in the top. Give me a second here, wait for it. And there we have it inside, sitting on the elliptical machine. So while you're actually using the elliptical machine, you can turn on the app and you can see everything happening in front of you from a competitive nature without having to have an extra screen or an extra phone holder off to the side. It's all inclusive if you choose to use it that way. And then if you decide that you don't want to use the cell phone holder, you just pop it on out and then you just put the plug back on and it's nice and seamless, like it wasn't even supposed to be there. So it's pretty cool. Okay, so the one thing I want to show you that makes this one unique as to how you can use it from a seated and a standing position, again, that's a first for Lifepro, is I'm going to show you how to adjust these pedals. And this happens here from the side. And you're going to see here on the bottom, there are different levels of screws. And so we're going to take our screwdriver that comes with, and we're going to crank in order to release. And then from here, it takes a little bit of mama power. Takes a little bit of Amber power here, but we're going to pull that screw all the way out like that. And then we actually will move the height of this pedal up and down based on the angle that you actually want your foot to sit on the pedal, which changes the angulation and the intensity on the knee and on the hip. So that's how you're going to change that setting. And it's a very comfortable setting for each individual. So it's a different, you just have to play around and see what works best for you. We do have a max capacity of 220 pounds. So if you have a client, let's say you're a personal trainer, and you're wanting to use this in their home as a warm-up, and they don't have any cardio equipment in their home, but you're wanting to do something in order to get the blood flow working into the extremities so that you can then do more one-on-one personal training, you can easily carry this from one appointment to the next. It's only weighing 35 pounds, and it has a weight capacity of 220 pounds. So that being said, let's say that you're working with somebody who's 300 pounds. You can still use this with somebody who's 300 pounds, but they have to remain seated instead of standing, okay? And so the downward force on the pedals, again, 220 pounds, but the unit itself with the carry handle only weighs 35 pounds. So if you're carrying it from point A to point B, you can use that. And what I like about it is if you think about how big a cardio machine is at a gym, Not to mention that they're about $7,000 for the one with all the bells and the whistles, the Cadillac of the line, right? If you don't want something that's going to take up space to hang all your clothes on after a while, this can sit in a closet. It can sit underneath a table. It can sit underneath your desk. It doesn't take up a whole lot of space, and you can use it for a different variety of things. For those of you who are coming off of a total knee replacement and maybe in physical therapy, you are using a bike in order to get going on an elliptical trainer at physical therapy, they're not going to have you using that because you would have to be standing. This is going to be smoother than using a bike in a seated position. It's very fluid how it works and very comfortable. So if you have somebody who is having a total knee or total hip replacement, this is a very easy piece of equipment that you can have in the home and be able to do those exercises on a day on, day out basis without having to go to a physical therapy appointment and paying several $100s in order to do that. So we're going to get an increase in blood circulation, which also naturally is going to help with increasing muscle tone and increasing flexibility. It's going to decrease chronic pain. And chronic pain comes from doing a lot of stagnant things. So if we're doing a lot of sitting, if you've been doing a lot of running and you're not mixing up your activities a whole lot because you're limited, the weather has started to shift. So if you are an individual who is someplace where the climates are more cold, more icy, more snow. We actually had snow a couple of days ago. This is something that you can do from the convenience of your home inside, and then you don't have an excuse as to why you can't exercise because we're providing you the opportunity at home without having to pay for the gym or paying for a massage or a physical therapist or a personal trainer to come and work with you. So we're going to increase in core strength and metabolism, which decreases chronic pain. We're going to be able to regulate the weight while we're on our sugar blower routine here for the next couple months, right? Because we got to get in the stuffing, and we got to get in the potatoes, and we got to get in the pie, and we got to get in all the sugar cookies and all the apple cider, right? So as we are continuing to go through the final push of the year where we always pack on extra weight, and then we get to January and we're like, okay, I got to get the weight off, right? This is an easy way to maybe just pack on 5 pounds instead of packing on 10 pounds, right? So battle the bulge right here. For those of you that aren't going out and doing a turkey trot the day of Thanksgiving, right? You can sit and watch all those holiday movies. For those of you that are watching Hallmark and keeping track of all of the new movies that are coming out each and every year, right? You can sit now and do this at the edge of your couch while watching all of those wonderful holiday flicks without having to worry about prioritizing going to the gym because you can do it all right at home. It is a great thing. So anyways, we're gonna regulate our weight by decreasing by boosting our heart rate and our calorie burn, and we're gonna decrease stress by increasing the happy hormones. So naturally, if we have an increase in stress hormones, we're going to be a little more fluffy because when we have an increase in stress hormones, our body packs on fat because of a fight or flight state of nature with our sympathetic nervous system. So if you're having trouble battling the bulge, and if you are not seeing the scale tipping in the right direction, and the clothes are not shrinking in how you're fitting into them, I should say. In other words, your clothes should be getting looser, not shrinking, right? So if you are having trouble with that, then you also will have the ability to use this at home so that you can battle stress hormones, which lead to weight gain. And then most important, because of our lack of movement when we are out and about, with the cold weather changes and the seasonal light changes, we have to maintain our bone density levels. And so we have to make sure that we're doing exercises to maintain lean muscle mass and keeping circulation going and increasing our bone density so that we don't develop brittle bone issues and osteoporosis and all that good stuff. Okay, so let's go ahead and readjust this. I got to figure out, we got to adjust this on both sides, but I want to go ahead and show you how this bad boy works. And I'm going to adjust this all the way down to the bottom notch. And what I like about this as well is it's very user-friendly in order to move the pedal back and forth. So as I'm adjusting in order to wiggle this in ever so slightly, these There we go. We got that going. Okay, now I think I might have misplaced one of my little parts, but I'm going to make it work anyways. Don't do that at home. Don't drop one of your nuts and then you can't use it in order to work the elliptical. That's not a good idea, but we're going to make it work today. So hardware is there. Okay, so we're locked and loaded. Okay, now here's what I'm going to do. I am going to start this using this in a chair, which means I'm going to move my big black plyo box out of the way, roll it on out, and here we go. Now, if you're wanting to use this at a desk, I actually brought my chair that has the roller wheels, my office chair that I work with in my clinic, and we're going to take those little wheel casters and we're going to put those in place so that I don't go bye-bye, and I have a little bit of control over where I'm located here. So there's that. And then if I'm really worried about my chair going away, then we can attach the tether strap. And the tether strap goes down at the base of the bottom, and then it goes on into the handle here. And then we clip that on, cinch it tight. And now we're ready to go. Okay. Now, again, I mentioned earlier that we can use the straps. We can also use the phone holder. I'm going to have it handy, but what I want you all to make sure that you're showing me up here on the screen is, what do you like about this? As you're seeing how I'm using this, let me grab a drink of water here. As you're seeing me using this, I wanted you to tell me, what do you love about it? What are you wanting to use it for? Of all those great benefits, whether it's increasing blood flow and muscle tone and flexibility, decreasing pain, regulating weight, decreasing stress, taking the inches off the waistline, or increasing bone density, or maybe you're using it for physical therapy at home. I want to know what you're going to use it for when you win, because we're giving one of these away today. All right. So as you can see, I'm going to have to move the unit closer to me because I just tried to scooch my seat forward. Totally a natural instinct of mine. And yeah, let me rearrange things here a bit, make this a little more comfortable on me. So very, very easy to move around, very user-friendly. And I don't think I'm going to have any trouble with keeping everything here, so I'm just going to let that lie. But my seat here is a little too low for where I should be. So let's go up. There we go. Hey, there we are. Okay, now I want to make sure I don't cut my head off, because I like seeing all of you. And I want to make sure that you can see it in action. So bear with me here. Okay, let's give this a spin, or a stroll, or a stride, right? Okay, so from here, oh, it would help. I've got it on max resistance. That is not a fun thing. Max resistance is a no-no. I don't want to work that hard yet. Okay, now, I don't have any trouble keeping my legs on here, but if you're wanting to use the straps, we're going to flip this forward, slide it on over the wheel, slide that foot on, cinch down the strap so your foot can't go anywhere. And like I said, it kind of keeps your foot there without it forcefully being locked into the unit, so you're not stuck with keeping it on there. All right, there we go. And we're off. All right, so we can go for a stroll in the park. Imagine that you are, and see, I'm not one who likes straps. I like to be able to move my toes and my feet. So naturally, I don't use my whole body to push down. I like to use my feet and my toes. So that's how the straps are. If you choose to use the straps, you can, but you don't have to. I'm going to go ahead and remove them because I'm not one to use straps. But you are most able to do that if that's in your comfort zone. And now we're off again. So you have the ability to adjust the angle. Now, let me show you something here. What you want to make sure of, you can also go backwards. So I'm going forwards, and now I'm going backwards, okay? If you're going to do this from a standing position, just make sure that you know where all your stuff is, okay? Because what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to stand up and then you don't know where your space is and you get off balance and you happen to fall back and oh, there's a chair there. We don't want you to go kaput. That would be a bad idea. So just make sure as you go to standing, and I'll show you how to do that here in just a second. There's really cool ways that you can situate this in order to use it. And like I said, you can be doing bicep curls at the same time as when you're pedaling. So I'm going to turn this sideways so that you can see this in action, because I think it's good for you all to see a different, and I'm going to do this without the tether strap so that you can see that you can do it without the tether strap. Okay, so there we are. I think you can all see this pretty well. And I just happen to have my office stool in here. You can use whatever kind of chair you want, whether it's a higher chair or whether you just want to make sure that you are at least at the same height as your knee. Okay, so there's going forward. Here is going backward. Get a little ab workout here at the same time. Ooh, yeah. Okay, now here's where we can go standing. Okay, so here is standing. I can attempt to go standing this way, but this is really awkward on the angle. So let me show you what we do. We actually turn it around. We turn it around and go the other direction, okay? Which is more stable than if you flip around. So in order to use it in a standing position, you've got to be able to turn the unit around, okay? And now the other thing is it's a lot more stable if you lower those pedals to the floor. So now that I'm going to actually use this in a standing position, I'm going to show you one more time how we're going to adjust those pedals, and then I'll show you how much different it looks from a side. We're only lowering the pedals. You can see the screw right there. We're only going to be lowering the pedal by about 1 inch, but it makes a huge difference, okay? Makes a huge difference. So the screwdriver comes included, so you don't have to worry about any of that. Everything you need in order to make this work comes with, okay? Do you ever want to move it further away from you to stretch out your hamstrings? Absolutely, you can do that. And it does not make any noise at all. Very quiet. Okay, so I just moved that down. Okay, you can barely see it there. Oh, you can see the 3 holes there. So we're gonna slide that through. It's very fluid. So for those of you that don't like feeling that catch, it's quite comfortable how it works. Again, $179.99 today. And again, get it today while you can, because we're known to change pricing, and it's regularly $249.99. You got to change both pedals. So I'm going to go ahead and change the other pedal so you can see it here, okay? And again, we don't want one pedal even and the other pedal not. So it just takes a little bit of time, like 5 minutes or less. If I can get this in here. There we go. Okay. So go ahead and ask some questions if you happen to have any questions here. And I will see. Yeah, it makes no, I have a bad knee, so that stride looks like it would be super smooth. And it is super smooth. So yes, if you've got a bad knee and you're wanting to work on stuff at home, it's definitely ultra smooth. The secret with the knee is you have to make sure that you're maintaining, let's see here. There we go. The secret with the knee is that you have to make sure that you're maintaining the right angle in your knee in order to not work too hard. You don't want to be any lower than a 90-degree level in the knee. If you have a hip labral tear, yes, you can use this as long as you don't have additional pain with it. So make sure when you are using it, if you have any pain in the labrum, to change your level of your height on a chair. It's very, very good for a torn meniscus. Can definitely use it for a torn meniscus. Okay, let's give this another try. Okay, and make sure you can all see this in action. Now, we're going to turn it around. There we go. And so when you're in position, you should be in the direction of the toes facing towards the floor if you're wanting to work more of the thighs here, okay? Make sure we're not locking out the joints, so we're not teeter-tottering our hips. This is not dance class, right? So make sure when you're doing this, you really, in order to use your core and engage in your core, you want to assume that your chest and your shoulders are stable and not moving. Whew, and we're getting a burn going. Now, mind you, I'm only on level 1 right now, only on level 1. I'm gonna do this to the side so you can see it from the side. Okay. Now we'll go backwards. Going backwards. Yep. Ultra smooth. Having fun, getting my jam on in my mind, right? Okay, going forward. Definitely an easy exercise to do, whether you're standing or you're seated. Okay, let's turn and face the other way and you'll see how it's different. When I'm in this position here, it's a lot more intensity on the knees and on the shins. So this is really hard to do this facing this direction. In fact, it's hard to go forward and backwards. So if you're doing this from a standing position, you really have to turn around and face the other way. It just is really hard to do it the other way. Okay, but we are getting our jam on nice and easy. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and increase intensity. So I'm on a level 5 right now. And now we feeling the booty on fire. Yep, we are burning. Good stuff. And again, you can add arm weights, you can add the BFR bands to your regimen. And then again, if we want to go from a seated position, we just bring our stool over, turn the Rove around the other direction, and go from a seated position. Now, let me go ahead and show you what this would look like using my big stool. So hang tight. Gonna get you the big stool that you've seen in some of our other videos. And this is a much taller stool overall. And so you can have your legs out in front of you and you can be leaning back and pedaling, and you're gonna get more right here on top of the knee and in the thighs than up here in the hips. So if you are feeling a lot of intensity in the hips, then you definitely want to raise your stool height. Now, if you don't have another stool, but you're not feeling really good with this, let me show you what you can do. We're gonna grab a pillow. We're gonna grab a pillow and put it on our stool. So we've just increased our stool height by about 2 inches by putting a pillow on. And now I have a totally different angle in my hips. And this just made this super, super easy. So the lower you go down to the ground in a chair, the harder this is, because it's harder on your hips, harder on your knees. So to make it easier, if you're not one who wants to stand completely, just raise the level of your seat height in order to get the best of all worlds without having to be unstable in a standing position, okay? I'm gonna turn this sideways so that I can show this to you from the side. And again, I wanna know how you're gonna use it and what's the greatest benefit that you're gonna get from it. Okay, so let's go with the base seat height. So right here, okay, we have a little higher than a 90-degree angle here, a little higher than we're right at close to a 90-degree angle here, and I'm pushing the ground away from me, okay? Now, if this is really uncomfortable on your shins and your feet, then we just take our stool back just a little bit. Just a little bit. And then we're pedaling more in front of ourselves, okay? So now we've turned this into like a different type of a bike in a sense, but we're not using bicycle pedals, we're using stride pedals, okay? But I'm feeling this more down here and in here than if I'm closer. And if I'm closer, I'm feeling it more in my foot ankles down here, in the calves, and feeling it definitely way higher here in the hips. So that's how you can change the variability of working just with your stool location with using your Rove. Now, if we are wanting to increase the foot angle, if we're wanting to increase the overall angle between our hips, our knees, and our foot, we just raise the seat up. I'm going to bring it a little bit closer. There we go. Okay. And so we've just raised the seat height, and just that little difference in seat height just completely changed this exercise. Okay. And then remember, in order to stand up and go forward in a standing position, and we have to reverse this. This needs to be facing away. So we can do that right from the bat. And it's just a much bigger angle on the shin and on the foot. But you can go from here into that standing position, and then you're nice and tall, all the way down. Feel the seat. Oh, we be burning. So you don't even have to stand. You can just stay in this position right here. We can go forward in this position. Nice and easy, standing and engaging. Dropping down. So there's an easy, whew. That's how you can cook those thighs, right? Whew, yes, good stuff. All right, we have about 10 minutes left here. So if you have questions that you have on your mind as to how to use the device, yes. So will that actually build muscle in your thighs and calves? Absolutely it will, because we are using resistance on the cable. We have 8 different levels of resistance. And so there we go. So if I turn this knob to an 8, okay, now, if you want to order it right this very moment, my people backstage are going to list the link to order it right now, and you'll have it at your doorstep, hopefully within the next few days. So now we're pushing. So this is level 8 resistance. Very, very challenging compared to where I was on the level 2. So yes, we're going to build some muscle up here. Very easy. Okay, turn it around in order to stand. Okay, make sure you've got good stable position. And yes, definitely much harder in standing. Definitely getting a booty. Yep, and you definitely have to push hard. So more resistance to get the greatest amount of tone is not always going to be in your best interest. You might need to start moderately and work your way up. Just change the positioning of your stool or your chair, change the seat height, and position to and from the Rove in order to give you the best strategy for where you're wanting to feel it. How should knees be positioned and feet? So you want to make sure that you have at least a 90-degree angle in the foot ankle, and you want to make sure that you're sitting higher than a 90-degree angle in the knees. So what do I mean by that? Let me show you. So if I'm using this from a seated position, this is a really good example because the stool drops all the way down, okay? And so let's say that with my stool, so right now, this foot is comfortable, but do you see my knees? My butt is sitting lower than my knees, which is a no-no. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that our butt is at the same height as our knee or a little higher. So even this right here is really challenging. Let me crank that energy back down. This right here isn't bad, but I can feel this in my hips and in my back. So let's rise up a lot higher, okay? Now my hips right here, hip bones, are sitting a little bit higher than my knee, okay? Sitting a little bit higher than my knee. And now I can push the intensity a little bit more. Make it a little less strenuous on the shin angle. Push yourself away from the unit just a little bit and pedal out in front of you instead of underneath of you. So the line of angle from here to here, okay? You don't want your feet behind your knees. We want our feet either under our knees or out in front of our knees. We want our booty height, our hip height, either level with the knee or higher, so not lower. Otherwise, you're going to have more pain in using this than if you were able to do what you're doing, okay? So there's that. Okay. Why do you want your bottom higher than your hips? Because our hips are not meant to move in that position, so it places a tremendous amount of tension on the IT band and on your glute muscles, which is going to also shorten these muscles right here, and we don't want that because that's what causes back pain. So if you are having back pain with this, or you're having a lot of hip pain, you need to make sure that your butt is higher than your knees when you're in a seated position. Otherwise, the physics, if you look at how the body alignment happens with physics from the hip angle to the knee angle, we want to make sure that we're higher. So this angle, way easier. This angle, really, really hard. You don't want your butt low. Just go with that. Okay. Yes, need the Rove Elliptical to strengthen my legs. I would take this to work and use it every day. Yes, you're going to love it. Let's see. Yes, all of our products are awesome. So, let me tell you about this. Is there a recommended amount of time for each session? I would work 15 to 30 minutes. 15 minutes is going to give you something really good to look forward to. 30 minutes, I wouldn't go any longer than 30 minutes. How far up does the pedal angle go? So it has a variability of just a few inches at a time. Let me pull this on up here. Make sure I got all my parts in here. I think I lost a nut, which I thought I had lost a nut earlier to begin with. So now we're good. Okay. So when we are looking at pedal height, okay, so check out the swinging display. So if I take the screw out, which I will do, let me grab my tool. We provide all the tools that you need for this. Okay, so if I lefty-loosey, righty-tighty, if you have a screwdriver at home that works faster, all the power to you. You guys are making me get my hands all dirty today, but that's okay. That's what we're here to do. We're here to do the dirty work so you can enjoy the happy life at home with greater wellness, greater mindset, and greater levels of energy, lower levels of pain. Okay, now, so if you can see here, now I'm just going to pull on the wheel and the angle changes 3 different notches, okay? 1, 2, 3. So you're looking at, I would say about 15 degrees of difference of angulation here, about 15 degrees, and an inch total on the pedal. So you can do whatever makes you happy. I'm just going to go middle of the road because I haven't done middle of the road yet. And we just screw that back through and boom, we're ready to rock and roll. Now I have to do the other side. And again, super quick. So we just use our screwdriver And we're good. Super quick. And then we adjust, slide that back through, and now we are ready to go for a ride. So it's really, really easy to adjust. And I just use the tool in order to unlock it, but you don't have to use the tool all the way through and through. Just, I would make sure you tighten down on the screw here, or I should say on the bolt. There we go. Okay. And there we are. We're ready to go. So again, super fluid. Okay. And I'll simulate as if I'm on here. Okay. So a little harder with the turntable here going, but yeah, but it is super easy, super compact. Okay. Has texture rich petals and whisper quiet. So you don't have to worry about interrupting somebody else at home in order to use it. And so here we go. Pedaling away. And away we go. Okay, if you want to use hand weights, you can curl at the same time. So many different things you can do. We can pump back and forth. And again, the resistance handles go underneath if you wanted to attach those as well. So how much does it weigh? It weighs 35 pounds. 35 pounds. And today it is $179.99. It'll go back to regular price at $249.99 here in a few days. So make sure that you make the purchase sooner than later for the holidays, because a lot of our products have been selling out. I actually hosted a women's event to pamper women. We had 75 women hosted in my facility this last weekend. And so I contacted Lifepro to get a lot of products in so that we could pamper our ladies with all these different devices, including the compression boots, the VisiCure LED light masks, the neck massager, which was a huge hit, the foot massagers. We had all the Oculex. We had all different kinds of things. And so I will tell you, there were a couple of products I was wanting to have here, and we were sold out of them because they are just going over like hot fire really, really well with everybody. So if you're interested in ordering, make sure that you click on the link, or that you go online and get your item purchased sooner than later and put it back for the holidays for later if that's what you're wanting to do. But you don't want to wait until the last minute to get these items, because just in general with shipping, there's no guarantee that you're going to get it in time for Christmas. And what a lot of these things that are coming in are taking a lot more time to arrive than what we originally anticipate. So make sure that you get your order processed today, and you can follow the link that's provided, or you can go to Amazon, or you can go to Lifepro. If you happen to catch it on a day when it's not on sale and you want to type in my discount code Amber10, you can see if that works for other products that you might be of interest in. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But most of the time it works if there's not a product that's already on super special. So, but yeah, you can set yourself up at home for the Battle of the Bulge, for enjoying the turkey and the fixings and the desserts. And you can sit and watch me on YouTube talking your way through everything, because we've already done some videos for this. And, like I said, don't have to go anywhere, and you have everything in the convenience of your home in order to maximize everything. So awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, let's see who we got here for a winner. Let me see if they have reached out. Oh, yes. Okay. So we have got Quincy Benson. Quincy Benson, you are the winner. Make sure that you reach out to Lifepro through Messenger and let them know. Yes, Quincy Benson, you are the winner of the Rove Elliptical machine. Now, I'm going to be going live again tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you wanted to be available to watch and didn't win anything, we are going to be doing it again tonight. And tonight is a little different because, as you can see, I'm in my gym. And tonight I have individuals in my gym. So you actually get to see how it works with other individuals who have never seen the product before and how easy, how user-friendly it is. I've got a young man who is dealing with an ACL reconstruction, and so we're doing his rehab, and we've got a lot of other clients who have had foot ankle reconstructions. We're doing their rehab. So there's a lot of different ways you can see it being used, as well as for fitness and for feeling good. So congratulations, Quincy, for winning today. And thank you all so much for watching and for being here. As always, it is always an honor and a pleasure to be able to talk with you and share with you this wonderful, innovative technology that Lifepro has come out with. And the month of November is about giving thanks. And of course, we want to always be giving thanks across the entire year, but we want to make sure that we're celebrating each and every day what's going right, not what's going wrong, but what's going right. And sometimes we forget to look at all the little things that are just right in front of us that are so simple. The ability to breathe, the ability to see, the ability to hear, the ability to feel, the ability to communicate, the ability to have friends and family and loved ones near and far. Because again, it takes a lot of us together. We don't all have to be in the same city or in the same community. We just we have a community right here with Lifepro. And so I love seeing each and every time that I launch a product or come online to teach a class or come just to share and answer questions, all of you that are always backing around and learning and seeing what you can look forward to coming into the future. You got to be learning each and every day, because if you're not learning something new each and every day, you're kind of falling behind in that your brain just is not constantly stimulated. So I don't go to bed at night until I learn something new each and every day. And it's always exciting to see what kind of different things that we can learn out of our comfort zone and out of our expertise, as well as things that are in our comfort zone. So, and as you're learning things, of course, sharing those things with other people, because greatness is not what you have, but is what you give and share to others. So thank you for giving me the ability to share greatness with all of you. And thank you all so much for being part of the Lifepro community and for allowing us to make a greater impact in your life for the better. I wish you all a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you later this evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if you're interested in another round at the Rove. Have a great day, guys.